Welcome back, boys and girls, to episode 36 of the Nerd Chills podcast. This is Adam Diaz, as per usual, and with me, as per usual, is CJ. How are you doing, CJ?
I'm doing great. We got to come up with a new as per usual. I feel like that's our most
I don't like
used
it.
word.
It's tried and true.
No,
and
it's not.
Our fans trust it.
I don't like it.
It's just like the end of the episode when I say, "Find folks, find you." It just rolls off the tongue, and everyone likes it.
No.
I guess we're skipping ahead to announce the fourth chair is obviously Robin Grace yet again. Welcome back, Robin.
Just jumps right in there.
Hello.
And sitting in the third chair, as per usual, is
No!
Charlie. Welcome back,
Stop
Charlie.
it. I don't like it.
Hello.
So we got a great episode for you this week. I hope it's going to be about graphics and the importance that they play in the games that we love, and whether or not there's a glass ceiling, so to speak, and what can hold a game back, whether it's great graphics holding back a shitty game. I don't think that really happens, but we'll get into it. Mostly it's about great games that get held back because they don't have perfect graphics. So we have a lot of examples for you of how that's affected the gaming industry and the people who develop those games and how they feel like they've been held back because of it. But we'll get to that a little bit later. Starting out, as per usual.
Okay, so here's for everybody at home. If you're in a safe place, every time Adam says "as per usual," you take a shot.
That's not probably a good idea, guys, because I will make you very drunk by the end of this episode. But CJ, what have you been playing?
I have played a tiny bit of Destiny 2 on my Xbox because my buddy who I do game show with decided he was going to buy it. So I figured, if he's going to spend the $60 to buy the whole game, I'll play a little bit of it, and just so I can kind of hold myself off till it comes out on PC. But other than that, I've been playing just Call of Duty on my wonderful, lovely, my best friend ever PlayStation 4.
I heard that you had a really interesting week with your PlayStation 4. Is that true?
Yeah, it resulted in me punching it a couple times. So there was a little bit of video game domestic abuse, but I've said my sorries, it said its sorries, and yesterday we sat down and had a pretty good night together, so.
That's good. I'm glad. That's awkward that you had to punch it, so I'm hoping that it's okay, and hopefully it's, not going to file charges against you.
It seems to be working fine now. I mean, I hit it out of my own frustrations, and then I fixed it, so we're okay.
Right on. Charlie, what have you been punching this week?
I haven't been punching anything. I've been playing PlayStation, but I haven't been punching it.
Okay, what have you been playing, then I guess we'll go with that.
Okay. Anyways, I've been playing a few different games. I played this game on PS4 called The Sexy Brutale, which sounds weird, but it's like a murder mystery game.
What?
Yeah, it's on PlayStation. It might even be on PC, I'm not positive, but it came to PlayStation on disc. It looked really cute, so I picked it up, and it was super fun. I played it in 10 hours and platinumed the game, which I never do.
Wow, that's impressive.
And it was super, super fun. It's just like a puzzly murder mystery with a really weird twist ending that was very odd.
Were they all dead
hard.
the whole time?
No, it was just really hard to describe. I don't want to spoil it, but I was just like, what happened? So I played that, and then I played Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle, which I really like so far. And I finally said the name right, so I'm proud of myself.
I am too, because I still haven't gotten it right.
And then I was playing some Wildlands, and I picked up Destiny today, but I haven't played it yet. I don't know if it probably isn't going to be a big priority to me. I have my issues with Destiny.
What are you playing? What are you playing it on?
I have it for Xbox One because the only friend I have that I play with is playing on Xbox One.
Awesome. I'll play with
I thought
you.
she was going to say the only friend that you have, and I was going to be like,
I'm
dude,
offended.
Brutal. Right on. That's quite a bit, actually. So you've had a busy week on top of the work and stuff that you do. Robin, what have you been playing this week?
Fallout Shelter.
Still Fallout Shelter?
I played a little bit of Overwatch, but school's really hard.
So you've been playing with protractors and such?
Yes.
You play Overwatch with protractors?
No.
That'd be
I mean,
impressive.
if you want to be on
as
hard
fuck.
mode, you can.
No, statics. It's hard.
Right on. So this week I've been playing a game called Mario Kingdom Rabbids Battle Deluxe, I think.
Mario
forget.
and Kingdom Rabbids Battle. That's
That's
what
the
I
one.
always call it.
It is really XCOM light, but the leveling up system for your weapons and stuff like that is really fucking fun. XCOM's is as well. It's not anything like how you do it in XCOM, but I do like it, and it has that Mario element of going around and collecting coins, because that is what you use to purchase all your inventory.
It's
So
cool.
having a really good time with that. Played some more Shadow of Mordor. It's really fun. And a really good friend gave me Madden 18. And playing that, it's the same old game, I will say. I do like the way that you interact when you have like engagements, like if you've ever played from defense and you lock up like on the offensive line, you can like, rather than like, oh, just hit the swim stick and you'll go right by, because it never works. Now it's just like it prompts you to press A.
Yeah.
The fuck is a swim stick?
It's the right analog, basically. If you hit it to the left, you'll try and do a swim move to the left or a swim move to the right. And then interceptions and deflections are easier because you can actually time it by pressing Y. Before, if you were to try and time it and you didn't get it right, your character would basically stand there and watch the ball go over his head. And it was super frustrating, and it doesn't happen. At least it hasn't happened to me yet. It could still happen, but I've been having a good time with that.
Reminds me of like that scene from the opening of Daria, how like the ball flies by her and she just holds her hand out.
Yeah, and she's nowhere near it. Like, that is even more effort than like Madden 15 had, because they would literally just stand there and just go right over their fucking head. So
If I created Madden, that would be my goal. Like, because I know that people who play Madden typically rage over that game.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen so many people. Every person I've ever met that plays Madden, like, loses their shit over that game. So I would do that, where like the guy puts his hand out way after the fact, just to like imagine people losing their minds.
if you were to have a Daria mode, it would be more impressive than the mode that they have in this year for storyline.
Oh yeah.
God.
So I just fucking wanted to play just a career mode, and I was like, I don't want to go through an hour of story first.
I've heard calling it a story mode is a long shot.
Oh, I hate you. So it's long shot mode. Now we know.
I told
I
you
don't
to begin
get it.
with not to do it.
Did they call it?
You
They
warned
call
me.
it
I
long
didn't start
shot
it. I
mode.
just went into it to see if I was actually able to
Yeah.
skip it and just go straight into career mode. And I was like, so I can only pick a quarterback or a wide receiver. Like, this is fucking stupid.
But you,
So
you
I
can
don't do
you
that.
can start
Why
a
would you want
franchise and
anything
pick a
else?
player.
Just do a franchise and pick a single
you just
player.
start a
Good to
franchise
know.
and then change because you can be coach, owner, or player.
Right on. That makes sense. So that's what I've been playing. Going in reverse order, what I've been watching. I did go and see It. And I gotta say, It will have a review, a 90-second review in a little bit. Aside from that, not a whole lot on TV. Been a very, very busy week at work because it was Labor Day and I got Monday off, which was sweet. Did some drinking, did some eating.
Leads to more work.
Yes, and then you get back in there and you realize you have 32 hours to do 40 hours worth of work. So it was very, very busy. But we did manage to go see It, which was very fun. And then that's really about it for me. And I think, Robin, what have you been watching this week?
I finished Blue Exorcist, and then I am on episode 11 or something of Aldnoah Zero, which is another anime, which is super Gundam-esque, just better than like Gundam Seed. Like, I don't know, the story for Gundam Seed and Gundam Seed Destiny sucked, and this is just a million times better.
Right on.
So, yeah.
So that's about it. I know you saw It with me, so you can chime in during my 90-second review.
Yeah.
And awesome. Charlie, what have you been watching?
Well, first of all, every time you guys talk about It, all I think about is that South Park song that's "Girl, You Got It."
I don't remember that. What
You
episode
know?
is that?
It's the one where they're in a boy band, and Randy. It's from Randy's boy band.
All I can remember from that episode is the Finger Bang song.
Yeah.
So,
But anywho, I've been watching South Park. Evidently,
obviously.
it starts soon, so I'm trying to gear up. I watched a little bit of football. So excited for football to be
Did you watch the
back
Patriots and the
on.
Chiefs? It was a very
oh
interesting
my God,
game.
Fucking
I'm
running.
very interested to see how the Patriots year goes.
I was like, who in the hell in our league drafted the running back for Kansas City?
We don't need to talk about this, okay?
Was it you?
No, I have Gilsey.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, it's my buddy
Okay, we'll
from
see.
back home in Indiana, and he had him on his bench, and I checked it, and it was like 38 points. I was
Oh,
like,
that
holy
sucks.
fucking shit.
Yep,
So,
that's how it was with that one dude.
yeah.
Fantastic.
Did you
I
have
had
the
Gronk.
Patriots running back that was just dunking them in 3 touchdowns?
She did,
Yep,
yes.
on my bench.
Yeah,
I texted her because I remembered her drafting him, and I was like, Charlie with the genius draft pick, and she texted me back, and she's like, he's on my bench. And I just texted her back like, well, I feel sheepish.
Yeah, he's on my bench, but I have their defense on my team, and
That's
they
rough.
got me -5 points this week. So strong season so
I'm
far.
right there with. They got me -4 because in the back of my head I was like, I'll pick the Patriots. They get to play against the Bills twice, the Dolphins twice, and the Jets twice. So that's like 6 games that they're going to give me a ton of points. But they just happened to shit the bed this week.
You're going to be waiting for those 6 games this year because Brady had that fucking commercial where he decided to say that curses weren't real and then took a hammer to a mirror and then walked under a ladder to prove it, and then he came out and just took a giant shit this Sunday.
I think he goes.
Thursday,
I think they're still going to go. I'm predicting 14-2.
No. So you're saying for the next 15 games they're only going to lose 1?
Yeah.
No, I'm going to predict a 12-4 season at best. There you go.
Yeah.
Adam D. a stamp of approval on that.
All right. I'm predicting
So
14-2.
at the risk of losing our listener base,
Football news.
right?
Other than that, I've been watching Game of Thrones.
Nice.
We're watching Game of Thrones. I just got through the first season. Again, a lot of stuff I didn't remember.
You're about to hit the super sexualized season.
I feel like
2.
that's just what we got through, actually.
Really?
But it is fun rewatching things and knowing what happens and just, like, laughing to yourself.
Right.
I don't know. There's just so many parts, especially with Lyanna, how she's like, we're going to kill them all. I'm like, you're going to be dead soon. Like,
Oh
it just
shit!
makes me laugh.
Spoilers.
Wait. Who?
Their mom?
Caitlin?
Catelyn.
Sorry, Catelyn.
Catelyn.
Lyanna's already dead.
Leanna's the sister.
She's been dead for a while.
It's so sad. Cool. Right on. CJ, anything you've been watching, bro? More Office?
No, I haven't been watching The Office actually. I watched that football game, which was super excited. Been finishing a couple animes. One was Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon, which was really good.
Oh my god. Is it actually good?
It is actually pretty good. Like, if you can get past all the fanfare, it's pretty good. And then I've watched this trailer probably like 15 times now for Black Clover, which is coming in October. Looks really, really good. It's another anime. I'm super excited for it. If you're into animes, I would suggest going and watching this trailer.
Cool. Robin, you have some work cut out for you.
I watch a lot of stuff all day, every day, so I'm not worried about it.
Okay, right on. Good to know. So that's what we've been playing, what we've been watching pretty quick this week, which is good because we have another top 7 we had sent in.
So, David doesn't say whether this is in... You assume 7 is the top one?
I would guess they're not even numbered,
I don't
though.
think they're numbered, so...
So,
let's see.
start in the middle and work your way out.
No, okay. So, our listener, David, friend of the show.
Patron as well.
Yeah.
Thank you, David.
Very good friend of the show. Sent us his top 7 finally. I don't know how long this took, because at least
He's
like
been a patron
6 or 8
for at least
months.
2 months.
Yeah,
Yeah.
At least.
It's taken a while.
Yeah, dude. You better not take as long on your Hiddleston, Chris Hemsworth digital physical entry. That's all I
we
gotta
need
say.
to know that. That's the real important stuff.
Yes. Actually, he told me that he thinks, I think he's on the Hemsworth team, sad to say. So you can just keep that shit to yourself.
Oh my god.
Please tweet at the Adam Diaz and let me know.
Okay, so I'm going to start at the top, assuming that this is 7 and goes down to 1. For his number 7, he put Tenchu, Stealth Assassin for PlayStation. I've seen the Tenchu game for 360, but I've never played.
I remember playing this with my brother.
Oh.
I've
Yeah.
heard of this before, too.
David says, I love the stealth in this game. Sneaking around from rooftop to rooftop and scaring innocent people was the best. I love doing that in real life, scaring innocent people.
Right? It's so much
What
fun.
the fuck?
I remember I used to argue with my brother that I like Tenchu better than Metal Gear Solid.
Oh, really?
And he was like, then you don't get to play my PlayStation anymore.
You
And
were like,
that's
"Never
when I
mind."
moved over to Microsoft. So
For his second one, or 6th, I'm assuming, it'd be Mega Bomberman for Sega Genesis.
That's a good one.
throwback. Yeah, I
Yeah.
love Bomberman.
He says, the fast-paced nature of this game really forced an exciting multiplayer atmosphere. I love those kangaroo things.
You'll have to explain it to us. I've never
Yeah.
played this one, apparently.
I don't know. We played Bomberman on Switch, and
Yeah,
that was
and
the
there's-
first time I played Bomberman.
Yeah,
Wow.
me too.
Yeah.
I've never played Bomberman.
I used to
before
play it on
that.
DS back in the day because I think it was one of the games you could have one cartridge and have 4 people play.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
I was just like, I don't know about this. All I know is kill Adam.
yeah.
Or stop Adam from winning,
I feel
really.
like that's everyone's rule. It's so annoying.
For his 5th one, he has Dynasty Warriors 5 for PS2. He says, I spent hours playing this game with my dad. I always found the comedic, cinematic ending for each character as a satisfying conclusion. I can definitely see that. Dynasty Warriors, I think any Dynasty Warriors game is super fun just because
Yeah.
it's just like
You're such an overpowered
Melee
god of a man.
spamming.
yeah, and you
Yeah.
just wreck things. It's like a zombie game. Like, it's just satisfying because you're just killing over and over.
I
and-
loved Hyrule Warriors. I thought it was so fun.
Yeah.
So
For his, what is this, the fourth one? He put Makai Kingdom for PS2. Lots of PS2 games on his list. That was like a formative system, I can tell. He says, I had played Disgaea and Phantom Brave, but Makai Kingdom was my most favorite tactic-style game by Nippon Ichi? I'm looking at Robin. Is this right?
Nippon Ichi, yeah.
For his third one, he says Halo 3. I have been a Bungie fanboy since Myth 2 Soulblighter, but the Halo series really changed everything. With great online play, a great storyline, and gratuitous co-op, this one is one of my favorite multiplayer games ever. I think a lot of people would agree. What did you guys, as far as like Halo fans, how do you feel about Halo 3 in the series?
I liked Halo 3.
I
That was
like
the one
3.
before ODST, right?
yes,
Yeah.
because Halo 3 ODST I think was the official
Oh,
name
yeah.
of
Yeah.
that. I like 3
It's
better
pronounced
than 1.
Oddest.
Let me rephrase that. I like 3 better than 2. 1 is just because it's like the first one,
Yeah.
my favorite. But 3 was great. 3 was phenomenal.
Cool. For his number 2, near and dear to a lot of people's hearts here at the show, StarCraft for PC.
Woo.
Old school RTS, he says. Blizzard did such a great job of balancing the factions.
1 in 3 people in Korea in the 90s owned StarCraft.
Wow.
It became like a sensation in their country, and that's why Koreans dominated esports, is because they got on board with esports so much sooner, and it's not like mocked in their country.
Yeah.
And it's literally all thanks to StarCraft.
Which Korea? The one that's going to bomb us?
South Korea.
I don't know what
Or the
goes
good
on
one.
behind the Iron Curtain, but I know South Korea is the one I refer to, which will hopefully just be Korea soon when the other one's smoldering hole in the ground.
And then for his number 1, like I said, I'm assuming, he put Knights of the Old Republic for Xbox.
This game is fucking amazing.
He says,
Yeah,
this
I
is how
remember
I
that
like all my RPGs. Which
I
is-
played that game to the very end, and I went light side. I got the ending, which was the canonical one. Yeah, and as soon as I finished the light side episode, I went immediately back into it and played through the dark side because I wanted to know what the dark side ending was. And that was not a short game, but it was extremely, extremely fun. So those are the same guys who made Mass Effect, which is why now that that franchise is dead, I am very hopeful that they might reignite Knights of the Old Republic, and I think that would be fucking huge. And if Microsoft knows what they're doing, they should go and try and make them console exclusive. Just saying.
I think it would make perfect sense because Star Wars Battlefront, you know, obviously they've revived that series and it's so popular. Even if it's not what everyone wanted it to be and what everybody remembers it as, people are still obsessed with it. So it would only make sense to redo Knights of the Old Republic because it was such a popular game.
Yeah, I never played Coder 2. I, for whatever reason, didn't
It's
pick
only
up
on
the sequel.
PC, right?
I don't know. I think it's just I was out of gaming at the time, or I didn't have a console, or I didn't have what I needed to play it. But I remember not even knowing that it had come out. So
Loser.
yeah, that's me, giant loser.
Yep.
So that's what we have for our top 7. We can move right along into Microsoft news because there's just a vast amount of Microsoft news this
CJ,
weekend.
take it away.
Yep, go ahead,
Okay,
CJ.
so with all this lovely Microsoft news, I'm gonna go ahead and kick it to Sony news.
Awesome. Yeah, we had 0 Microsoft news, so I can just edit in the gentle sobbing sounds for like the next 5 minutes. There is no announcement on the Scalebound front, so we got
Yeah,
that reference in,
Got it in
and
there.
we have nothing to give you guys. So sorry about that. But we
Microsoft's
power right ahead.
headquarters, which is in Seattle, they're just hunkering down for the hurricane that's coming. So that's probably why there was no news.
they're really worried it's going to make its way all the way across the country.
Yeah, they're just getting ready over there.
For Microsoft News, you should just play the music they play for, like, we're experiencing technical difficulties.
Right? Yeah, that would make the most sense because that would make the most sense if they just played that for all their press conferences for like the last 4 years, because that's how it really feels deep down.
Okay, well, I'll go into Sony News then if you're sure.
Yeah, please do. Go ahead and Sony it up.
Okay, there's actually not a lot of Sony news, but I did find a couple of things. First of all, the Dead Rising 4 is coming to PlayStation 4, which is interesting. Dead Rising 3 was Xbox One exclusive. Dead Rising 4 was exclusive to Xbox One as well, but now about a year after the release, it is finally coming out for PS4.
Was it supposed to be a timed exclusive starting out?
I don't remember them ever saying that. Like, normally they make it pretty clear that it'll eventually be on the other console, and they never talked about it. But I'm wondering if that's like, I'm wondering what the reasoning is behind that. But anyways, they're adding content to it. They're adding new modes to the game, and they're releasing it for PS4 in December, so that's pretty neat. And then the other piece of news I have is just about controllers. They're releasing a crystal line of controllers for PlayStation 4, like they did with PS3, the clear ones.
Oh, okay.
So they're doing a red, a blue, and a clear, and they look pretty cool if you're into colors. I'm excited about them because I kind of have a problem with the PS4 controllers, and they're too color, like, because there's two textures. The backs always look different and stupid. So I'm excited for, like, one real style.
I will say we shit on Microsoft a lot, even though me and CG are both Microsoft fans. That one thing I don't think we've given them enough credit for is that whole like creation lab that they have.
Yeah.
You can go make your own controller because, I mean, relatively speaking, if you were to try and customize your own controller for PlayStation, you'd have to do a third party, and it's really expensive. I know you've made one before, and there's so much shit that you can do for the Microsoft one, and it's like $80 to $100 max, and then they ship it.
Yep.
And it does not take nearly as long as they say, which is like 4 to 6 weeks, I think. We received one in like 2, so
yeah, I think Sony could definitely make some cooler looking controllers. They have some good colors. They don't have a lot of designs though. I think the coolest one they've ever done, even though it's pretty simple, is a Star Wars controller. That Star Wars controller is
I have one of those.
It's awesome.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
how the touchpad says Star Wars all over
Yeah.
it. and
yeah,
stuff.
like the design is simple, but it's so cool.
Yeah.
No, I totally agree.
But yeah, that's pretty much all my Sony news. Some new stuff.
Dang, we're gonna try and make this a 30-minute episode.
Dang.
Woohoo,
Not
we're
really,
pushing through.
but we're gonna power right along into Nintendo news. This is something that was shared by the Nerd Chills Facebook group, so you guys might have already seen this. But they did announce in Nintendo news that the iconic character Mario is officially no longer a plumber. This shouldn't be a total surprise because the character seems to be doing everything but plumbing, is what this Kotaku article
But
says.
plumbing.
That's really good. I hate you guys so much.
Oh man.
But the
was
recent uploaded
insane.
Mario profile explains the character as, quote, all around spotty, whether it's tennis or baseball, soccer or car racing. He does everything cool. As a matter of fact, he also seems to have worked as a plumber a long time ago. So it's like, apparently he just decided to quit his job and
Save the princess.
yeah, and try and find this chick who keeps hiding in different castles. But he's not a plumber, so that's sad. Economy's really down when your video game character's losing.
Maybe
their
he's
job.
just trying to figure out who he is, though. Because, I mean, you got to think. He was a plumber. Then he was trying to be a hero. Then he was trying to be a cart driver. Then he was trying to be a tennis player. Maybe he's just trying to
He
figure out
doesn't
what
know
he wants
who
to
he
do.
is.
Yeah.
It sounds like a midlife crisis to me because Mario.
Maybe
does
Mario's not
look
even
like,
Mario.
He's not a spring chicken. That's probably not even his real name.
Maybe he's trying to impress Peach. He's like
Maybe
trying
the
all these new
mustache is
jobs,
fake.
trying to impress her.
If his mustache was fake, that would be like my life
It'd be
is a
world
lie.
ending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would just have to end it all because that's
Yep.
pretty intense.
Luigi would get a lot more popular.
He would.
Luigi's old reliable. He's like, I don't do too much. Do some
I still do
Ghostbusting.
plumbing.
That's
Hey.
about
Right?
it.
He's like, all
Luigi's
he
Mansion
does is-
was fucking awesome.
Yeah, he
Yes.
just does a little
So,
ghost busting. Like
I really
Charlie
hope they
said.
release one for the Switch. Speaking of releasing games for the Switch, last month the Final Fantasy 15 director teased a version of his game for Nintendo Switch, but when he was having an interview recently with Kotaku, he said, I want you to make the headline, I have not been able to purchase the Nintendo Switch. He told them through his translator that he has not been able to find a console for him to actually play.
Oh my god.
And I don't think that's shocking
That's
because they've
crazy.
been such high demand, but it's just shocking for someone who's such a prominent figure in the industry to not be able to find a
Someone
console.
just send him one.
I
Right,
know. I was
Nintendo,
like,
what the
I
fuck?
feel like, should I send him mine? That it seems like it would go to better use.
It might. What I will say though is Final Fantasy 15 is getting like a release on, I think it's mobile, where it's the entire game, but you're in chibi form, so you're in like the cute little
I need
characters.
it in my life.
And it's like if you
Oh,
want
look
to have
how cute they are.
if you want to have Final Fantasy 15 on a Switch and you're having trouble running the game, because I know that previously they had said they had trouble running the game on the Switch, this would be like the appropriate way to compromise those two worlds, and it would just be really great if the guy who's in charge of that could, play on your goddamn console, Nintendo. So
Nah.
let's remove your head from your asses there and get that working. Let's go ahead and see the next article. It's a mixture of additional news and Nintendo news. So I'm going to let Charlie go ahead with the additional piece of news. Then I'm going to flashback. We're going to time travel back into Nintendo news, and I'm going to give you a little bit of information on this next article. It's confusing, okay? So Charlie, just read this next one from additional news.
Well, I got really, really excited. I've been waiting for a re-release of this game for a very long time, and they're finally re-releasing L.A. Noire.
Lenore!
Lenore.
I feel like we had this conversation earlier this week, did we?
We had it 2 hours ago in the kitchen before we recorded.
So yeah, I love L.A. Noire. Arguably my favorite Rockstar title, really.
Wow.
Whoa.
And I know that that's like,
Shocking.
yeah,
That's
sorry
very
about
shocking.
it. But yeah, they're re-releasing it finally, and I was debating what system to get it on because it's going to be out for the Switch.
Yeah, it's going to be on PlayStation, Xbox, and the Nintendo Switch, which is where my little tidbit comes in for Nintendo-specific news. And anyone like Charlie who is hoping to pick this up for the Switch will be paying an extra $10 for the game.
What?
Yeah, it's because the cartridge technology is more expensive, and because of that, they are going to be charging $49.99 on Nintendo Switch. PS4 and Xbox One users will be able to pick it up for $39.99.
That's insane.
Did they say definitively that that's why? Like, it's just the cartridge? Or is
They-
it
I
because
don't-
it's the first time on Switch?
I don't think they've announced it, but it just costs a lot more to put something on the cartridge because it is more expensive.
I think that's absolutely ridiculous.
We saw it happen with Rime as well. Rime was $10 more when it released.
What I think, I wonder, I don't know anything for certain, but I would think that it could possibly be because it's the first time it's out on their console. Like, they don't want to take the hit and sell it at the cheaper price, because that's probably the main reason that it's cheaper on Xbox and PlayStation, is because they've already released that game before. But for Switch, it's not a re-release. It's a new game for their console, so I wonder if that's a
It may be.
factor. I don't know. I would be interested to see why.
It wouldn't shock me if it was just the cartridge thing.
Yeah.
But I think it could be a combination of both. Just because I can't imagine. I mean, it would eat into your profits, obviously, to spend more money per unit. But it's not something where it should be impossible because everyone else is doing it except for Rhyme, basically.
I mean, either way, it's kind of a hard sell for me, honestly. Like, I have it pre-ordered on Switch right now, but I might change it because it's not a very casual game. You're not just going to, like, sit down and quickly run through this case.
Yeah.
So I feel like if I'm not going to take it on the go with me, then why would I pay more?
Yeah, no, I agree. It's interesting because we're going to talk about graphics, and I intend on bringing this up
Yeah.
because this is one of those games where graphics actually might matter. But we'll get to that in a little bit.
Other than L.A. Noire coming to Switch, American McGee is trying to make another Alice game. And I'm pretty excited about that.
I have never played an Alice game.
Really?
So
They're not bad.
What are they like?
They're tough and they're freaking twisted. Like, it's super, super messed up Alice in Wonderland. And they're
Yeah.
actually really difficult tactically.
What style is it? Third person, first person?
Third
Third
person.
person.
Third
So is it
person
like
action.
an adventure style?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you have like, especially in Madness Returns, you have a bunch of different weapons. So you pick up certain weapons for certain. It's very tactical, and it was actually very challenging. I wasn't expecting as much of a challenge as I got from it.
And it's nothing like your regular Alice in Wonderland. It's like super quirky and morbidly messed up.
And you're like
Demented almost.
spoiler alert. In Madness Returns, you're like in her nightmare world almost. Like, she's got all these mental problems, and she's actually like an orphan.
Jesus.
And you like go into this other realm that is almost like, I think, partially her psyche. It's very odd. But they're cool games, and it's a cool take on it. And you don't get very many like twisted fairy tales because it's really hard to license those things.
Yeah.
So I think there'd still be an interest in those games, but apparently they're trying to work on it. I think they've struggled a little bit financially. The director of the company, Spicy Horse is what they're called, is their the
What an
development team.
awesome name.
Right?
Spicy horse.
Was saying that he seems to say, like, if you get a chance, just go on and play some of our other games or rate us and stuff like that, because they're probably going to end up like kickstarting their next game. Like, they're just trying to keep their studio afloat.
Wow.
Wow.
So it's kind of sad to me that the series could end because they're just not.
Fiscally solvent.
Getting the money.
A lot of developers are doing that now, though, like kickstarting their games. Like that game that I posted in Nerd Chills, what was it called? Tokyo Dark. That was kickstarted, even though it's part of the Square Enix collective. Like, people just need
have
that
to
to get started now.
sell
I
such a
mean,
portion of your soul if you're getting someone to finance your game, because typically they have such strong financial backing that they get to determine whether or not you put certain things in your game, which could mean the difference between your game doing well and your game not doing well. So when you have a Kickstarter, you're beholden to the fans that gave you the money to make your vision versus being in debt to a company who tells you what you can and cannot do based off of their interpretation of video games, which they don't understand. So it makes more sense to me for smaller studios especially to do Kickstarter, and struggling studios to do Kickstarter, because it could be beneficial for them. So that is very interesting.
Yeah, it says in the article that they kickstarted their last game, but the only thing with American McGee's Alice is that it is owned by EA. So they have to talk to EA in order to...
I hear they're a very nice and reasonable company,
yeah,
so I'm sure
absolutely.
that'll go totally well.
Well, maybe now that Mass Effect's dead, they can fund another RPG. But the tentative title is Alice Asylum, and
That's kinda
they're
cool.
supposedly drawing up plans to try and send to EA, and they're asking for people to go and show interest if they're really truly interested, so that they can take that to EA as well.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah, this is the world we live in now. We have to
Beg for our video games to be made.
We have to pay for our games to be made to buy them.
All right, we have to pay for the game to be made, and then we have to buy them as well.
yeah, pretty much. And then the next piece of news is a short piece of news, but I was really excited. I think it was Randy Pitchford said that the next title to be announced by Gearbox is most likely going to be the game that everyone's waiting for, insinuating that it will be Borderlands 3, and that 90% of Gearbox is working on that.
Nice.
Wow.
So I'm very, 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 very excited.
There's only 7 varies. You're not that excited.
You guys will not see me that week. I will arrange something. I'll disappear.
We may see
Yeah.
you, because we may also buy Borderlands and play with you.
I'll be
We'll have
buying
to-
Borderlands.
We'll have to give Robin some Dramamine,
Yeah.
and then,
That shit makes me nauseous.
yeah, it does. Like, you watched me play for maybe 20 minutes for Borderlands 2, and you're like, cannot do, must leave room.
Yeah, I tried to play it with my friend who was super high level, and he was just like, stand here, I'll kill everything. And I was still like, I can't play this game. Like,
That's
too
insane.
nauseous. Yeah.
Well, hopefully it'll turn out better. I'm hoping it won't be like the fast-paced, futuristic style of some of the newer shooters. That way it won't be worse for
Yeah.
you, because those are dizzying for even me. I'm like, what is even
Right.
happening?
Right.
Overwatch, I think, is going to be helpful because it is a little bit slower paced of a game,
Mm-hmm.
but it's a nice transition away from, like, I think Halo's the only one I've ever seen you play where you don't get motion sick.
I get motion sick if I play the storyline. If I play the story mode, I don't know what it is, but I get sick.
Huh.
But
Is
if
the
I'm
story
playing,
that bad?
fuck you. But if I'm playing
sick.
like the multiplayer, I'm fine.
Right on.
It's a graphics thing. Like, I mean,
Another element to the graphic debate.
Oh,
It all
we're building
ties
up
in.
here.
So for my next piece of additional news, the Stardew Valley creators are teasing a new game that they're describing as Stardew Valley meets Harry Potter.
what?
I hope it has the multiplayer elements that they just introduced into
Yes.
Stardew Valley, because that would be fucking sweet.
That would be super fucking cool. I love Harry Potter. Sorry.
Yeah, like anything Harry Potter related, I'm just like, sign me up. Like,
Yep.
take all my money. And like, they could just literally put like wizard hats on the people in
Right,
Stardew
it could
Valley.
be the exact same
Be
thing
like, oh my
with
god!
updated outfits.
Yeah, I would be
Wizard
totally
hats and
into
scars
that.
for everyone.
These are wizard carrots you're harvesting. Oh my god!
Yeah, so I'm super, super excited. I hope that comes to fruition. And then the next article I found really, really interesting. Bethesda has said, someone from Bethesda, let me find out who before I...
Yes, we should probably check
Continue.
the source. It was posted by someone on the internet, which means it's almost 100% reliable.
Bethesda VP of Marketing Pete Hines
Oh,
has
shit.
said that there is a game coming out this year from Bethesda that we have not even heard of. It's not been announced yet.
I feel like it has to
What?
be something similar to Fallout Shelter, where it's like an app where they can announce it and release it almost at the same time. So
Yeah. It's got to
I
be a
love-
quick hit.
I love at the end it says, "Oh, and it definitely isn't that the in development Elder Scrolls 6." Like, calm down, everyone. That's not
like,
happening.
just so you guys know, it's not going to happen.
But I think it's pretty cool. They do talk about how this could be a mobile game, but that would still be awesome, especially for like Robin. Robin loves mobile games. She's
Yeah,
all
on
about
top of that, when Fallout Shelter dropped, I was
Huge.
still using an iPhone and I had an iPad. So when they're like, "Oh, Apple users can download it right now," I was like, "Oh shit, let me go get it," and that was pretty fun. So hopefully, if it is a mobile game, they can drop it for both. Since I don't know anyone who has an iPhone anymore, And
Oh.
I'd like to get it on my Google Pixel. It'd be nice.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think it's amazing how they tend to do that. They're just like, we're going to announce things and it's out next month or something like that.
Yeah,
It's Fallout Go.
Oh, my
my
god.
that'd be awesome.
You walk around and level up your Pip Man.
Pip Boy.
I would do it as long as there weren't raids. I can't get into that. So the next article that I have is a project that Crystal Dynamics is working on. Crystal Dynamics made Tomb Raider,
Raider,
and they
yeah.
work with Squeenix.
They're doing the Marvel game.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just
they're-
started talking about the genre.
Yep, so it will feature social and shared online play as well as combat, a third-person cover-based action-adventure game, which I found really interesting because there really haven't been any Avengers games. Other than
Lego
Batman
Avengers.
and like Assassin's Creed, there haven't even been Spider-Man, there haven't even been very many superhero games.
Right.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
It's really interesting because it sounds like it's going to be like co-op combat, so it will be like, I don't know how you can have an Avengers game with those characters as overpowered as they are, where they need to take cover, unless it's like you're attacking waves upon waves of like Ultron spawns or whatever the case may be. But I'm pretty excited to hear what they have going with this. It's really nice to maybe next year E3 to see a trailer of some actual gameplay, but we'll see.
Yeah, that would be super, super cool. I don't know. I would play it. Like, I played X-Men Destiny. A lot of people hated that game, but I kind of liked it.
Which one was Destiny? The one where you could create your own character?
The one that where they said you could create your own character, but then really you just got to choose between 3 of them and then create, like, a skill tree. Like, it was not what they said it was, but I enjoyed it.
That makes sense why everyone hated it now.
Yeah, that's exactly why everyone hated it.
Is the next one the Destiny DLC?
Yes, I don't know anything about that.
I will take over again.
Whee!
So this was posted on GameSpot, and the headline of this article is Destiny 2 DLC. And just so you guys know, Destiny 2 just came out, but the DLC Curse of Osiris
If
has
you're living
leaked,
under a rock.
and then Bungie confirmed it was real. Not that there was much reason to doubt an official store listing, because it accidentally went up on the Xbox store. But the first Destiny DLC pack will be called Curse of Osiris, and it is an Osiris-centric story. After this was accidentally put up on the store, and people were like, is that real? Bungie did have to come out and confirm, like, yes, that is real. That is going to be the first DLC, and that is its name.
Like Billy Ray Osiris.
Wow.
The entire thing revolves around you breaking his heart, his achy, breaky heart, and I don't think he'll understand.
And then his daughter
Daughter
going
becoming
off
a
to,
whore.
like-
And then his daughter twerks on you. That's the final boss. And you're like, what the fuck is going on? So that is the second to last piece of additional news. I will, however, pause for the last piece of additional news because it is related to the 90-second review, which we'll probably not get a time, for the movie It, unless someone wants to get out a stopwatch.
Doing
And, okay, and I'm going to go ahead and break down for you guys the movie It, with no spoilers. Anyone who's seen the original miniseries can tweet at me if you want some spoiler-free comparisons between the two, because I've watched the original It like at least 10 times, even though it's really scary, and it's one of those movies that made me hate clowns as a kid. But we'll go into the movie as a standalone and not do any comparison stuff for the 90-second review. CJ, are you ready?
Okay, I'm ready. Want me to count you down, buddy?
Yes, please.
All right, take a deep breath.
Okay,
3,
here we go.
2, 1, go.
So the first thing that I will say about It is that it is a horror movie and it is rated R, and that is typically not something that does well in the theaters, and it does not usually have a large budget. This movie did have a larger budget than most, and they made the most of it. The cast in this movie is nearly flawless. I will say there's a couple of the kids who don't really nail their acting. One in particular is the character who plays Mike, who later becomes the person who calls them all back, if anyone's ever seen the miniseries. I really do wish Mike had been cast as Caleb McLaughlin, which is from Stranger Things, but they also had already cast Richie in the movie as the lead character in Stranger Things. I forget his name. But he is phenomenal, along with most of the other characters. The kid who plays Bill is really, really good. And Bill Skarsgård, who plays Pennywise the Dancing Clown, is phenomenal. Most of the jump scares that you see in the trailer, you can kind of expect to see coming during the movie. They handle this movie this way. It is terrifying. He really is. He's way scarier than he was in the original miniseries, but the relationship between the kids is fantastic. It reminds me of Stranger Things in the way that you get really invested into all of the characters and their lives. And when the movie ends, you kind of just want to see more. You wish that the second part was already made. Every bit of this movie makes you want to keep watching it, which is why when I watched it with Robin, even though she's usually really scared and she hides behind my hands, she said afterwards, like, I didn't think it was that scary. and it's because you keep wanting to look back at the screen to see how all the characters are going to handle everything they go through. And even though it was very, very scary, she didn't really seem to notice. And afterwards, we were driving home, and I was just thinking, like, yeah, there was a ton of parts in that movie that scared the shit out of me. And it is more gruesome than you can ever imagine after having seen the ABC miniseries, which aired on television, because it transitions to a rated R movie. And it sets the tone from the opening scene with Georgie sailing his boat into the gutter. And after that, it really doesn't look back, and it doesn't apologize for it, nor should it. Anyone who's seen the original It that was terrified of it and doesn't want to go see this movie, but loved the fact that they saw It, should just put on your big boy pants and go see it. And I'm talking to you, Lee, if you're listening, because my buddy who used to watch this movie with me when we were 7 years old said he wasn't going to go see it because it's too
worth
traumatizing.
Go see it.
It really is. It's a great fucking movie. I give it a 9 out of 10.
Wow.
Yeah, I really enjoyed
like
it.
it's one of the only scary movies, like horror movies, that I would see again.
I would literally go see it again tonight. I liked it that much.
Dang.
So that is my 90-second review. Swear to God, there was no editing in there. CJ, how'd the timing go?
2 minutes and 27 seconds. So you kind of.
No, that can't be right. No, we'll check that. I'll use my own stopwatch.
Check the tapes.
Check the tapes.
I heard that, confirm or deny, I heard that it was a little scarier because they could use CGI for, like, the movements of Pennywise.
Yeah, there's a point where he, like, is stuffed in a fridge, and then...
Spoilers?
I'm sorry.
Bro.
But he, like, crawls out of the fridge, like,
It's
and his
like
body
a mini
parts,
fridge.
like, fold out, and, like, his head and body are all twisted in a different direction, and it's...
Yeah.
It looks
creepy.
very realistic. Like when you watch it, you're like, "Is that a contortionist?" And then
Yeah.
he starts like adjusting his body in ways that are not natural, and you're like, "Oh, that's just fucking terrifying."
Yeah.
It's just there's so many good scenes in it that don't exist in the original miniseries, where it's like,
Right.
like the kids in the original miniseries, they do go and confront it, and they do it in the movie as well. But in the movie, they go through several iterations of how they want to handle it, and some of them really don't fucking go well. And it's really tense, but it's really fucking fun to watch. So I really just like thinking about the scenes, want to go see it again.
I just think, from what I remember of the original, they seem to really just play on the fact that he is scary, like the idea of him is scary, but like in the new one, it sounds like they can do a lot more with how they show that and the things that he does that are
It's
scary.
very
Yeah.
true.
Not just him standing there holding a balloon being terrifying.
No, yeah, he plays off everyone's fears.
Yeah, it's very true to the book where he's a creature that will represent himself as what you fear the most. And the clown thing is to lure children in. In the ABC miniseries, he's just kind of almost always the clown, except for Richie in the original miniseries. He shows up as the werewolf. But in this one, it's like the book where everyone sees what they're afraid of. So when they see it, they don't see the clown. They see their fear. And it's just really goddamn good.
Yeah, it's like that creature in Harry Potter where he comes out of the closet and you're like, ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Oh, yeah.
he changes to whatever
It
you're
adjusts
afraid
itself, yeah.
of. Yeah.
That's cool.
That's what it kind of is.
It's very
I love
good. I was very impressed with it. I would love to see it again. So that is the last thing I'll say about it in the really long 90-second review. However, our last piece of additional news is regarding the success it is having, because horror movies typically don't do well financially. That's why they have smaller budgets. And rated R horror movies typically don't have large budgets. This movie was projected to have a $65 million opening weekend, which is phenomenal. And it broke the record for a Thursday night opening for an R-rated movie, which was previously held by Deadpool when it pulled in, I think, $13.5 million on Thursday night,
Wow.
which is shocking that it's higher than Deadpool, because that was $12.7 million. And even though it was projected to finish at a $65 to $70 million weekend, it's already projected, and this is Saturday we're recording, to finish at a $105 million weekend.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's going to go huge, which is great, because that means the budget will be so much bigger for part 2.
What is it really competing with, though? Because
There is
there's not
nothing
a lot
around
out.
it. And it's been such a
Yeah.
flop of a summer
Yeah.
for movies. Like, everyone's waiting for Thor Ragnarok to hit. And it's like, it
That's
looks
not even till
fun.
November.
And it's like, that's not a summer movie, though. It's like Wonder Woman owned the summer box office,
Yeah.
and everything else fell on its fucking face. So
They
it's
picked
like
a perfect time to release this movie.
they did. Like, they didn't wait till Friday the 13th in October, which they totally could have done. They're like, no, September 8th works for us, and everyone will want to go see it. Like, we walked past, I think maybe 10 or 15 people in the theater who weren't going to the same theater as us, and we went to the giant Cinemark XD, and that theater was fucking packed, dude. Like, it was shoulder to shoulder. We had one empty seat because there was a giant group of people to our left, and you get to pick your seats individually. So I put one seat between them and us, so that unless one person wanted to see the movie by themselves, we'd have like a space between us and strangers. So
Smart.
yeah, I know, strategic. I hate people. I don't want to see people. So yeah, that's everything we have for additional news. So we can power right ahead into our main topic, which is about graphics and the role they play in video games. There's a bunch of different aspects to this, but it's kind of what I like to call the Minecraft effect. Minecraft is probably one of the best-selling games of all time.
Yeah.
And if you try and talk to someone who's like a serious gamer about it and tell them like, hey, have you played Minecraft? And they haven't exposed themselves to it, they're like, shh, those are kids' graphics, bro. That game's garbage. It's like, that game got sold for, what was it, $200 billion? Or $2 billion, I forget.
$2 billion, I think.
But that game sold basically to the point where the guy who created it, who did it almost completely by himself, is filthy goddamn rich because it has such a giant install base, and everyone keeps buying it. And it's like, that is the most simplified version of graphics that you will ever see.
I just think it's hilarious that Xbox is like, hey, by the way, we're going to put out these 4K updates to
Super
Minecraft
duper graphics.
where your rocks are going to be shiny.
The water is more watery.
And it's funny
Things
because
will
they
glow
do
in the
that
dark.
because it'll play to the crowd who are like, oh, the graphics just look so bad.
Yeah. I
Now
mean,
they'll find something they can be a fucking snob about. Where it's like, oh my god, it's so sharp. The detail in the 8-bit is amazing.
there are a lot of, as you said, there are a lot of people that come in or that have bought the game that kind of have an opinion of like, how long is my kid really going to play this? I mean, it's $20 and it looks like crap. And
Literally forever.
It's, forever. And now they have kids like learn how to play Minecraft in school to learn how to like
Build and create.
Yeah.
When
and
I was in
adult
college,
Legos.
some guy
Engineer.
designed a processor, CPU processor, and he showed the flow of information as water going through like the thing he designed in Minecraft. He got a job at fucking Microsoft.
Yeah.
People were so impressed with what he made, and his world was just available to visit. People make recreations of like the Starship Enterprise and like London, England. It's like, it's
no
incredible.
Yeah,
But that's an example of something that gets its nose turned up at from like serious gamers because it doesn't have great graphics. I know Charlie and I had talked about one previously. In particular, it's one of her favorite games. I believe she's wearing a necklace for it right now, in fact, and a possible glass ceiling for that. So I will let her go ahead and jump into that.
yeah, I mean, recently the creator, well, I shouldn't say, the head of the studio that makes Borderlands, talked about how he felt like the art style of Borderlands held that game back. And that game is successful, but it is undeniably held back by the art style because no one wants to play like cartoony style games.
Yeah.
And that blows my mind because it's such an amazing game, and there are lots of games that look phenomenal that don't play as well as Borderlands, that don't have the depth that Borderlands or the writing that Borderlands does. So it really like makes me sad personally because I'm a huge Borderlands fan, but in general it always blows my mind. I mean, I meet people every day who are like, I don't want to play that because it looks cartoony.
Yeah.
And then, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I don't get that because even though it does look cartoony, like, it's not like an anime game. It's not like how Disgaea looks or anything like that. Like, it's still realistic looking. And
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it looks really freaking good. I don't know why people are, I don't know.
Regarding the Randy Pitchford interview, it was an interview that Ryan McCaffrey had on IGN Unfiltered, which is something I've talked about a couple times. I've listened to it, and I didn't realize we were talking about
The same thing.
until we talked about it earlier today. But what's super interesting about that interview is he does bring it up. He thinks that Borderlands has a glass ceiling, and Ryan McCaffrey laughs at him. And he's like, it's been one of the most successful
he's
games
like
of all
25
time.
million copies, and even Randy
Yeah.
Pitchford is like, there are billions of people in the world, and
And he
we are not
talks-
hitting like...
He asks
Very-
him,
a very big percentage.
why do you think it has a glass ceiling? He goes, I'll tell you why. He goes, there's an event I love to attend every year. Every year I can, is how he puts it. But it's the GameStop Managers Conference. And he said that it's so great to talk to GameStop managers to hear like how they appreciate his product. And he said that he thinks that managers from GameStop, their favorite thing to tell him is like, this person came into my store and they said like, hey, is there anything out? And I said, have you played Borderlands yet? And they say, no, it has cartoon graphics. And I talked him into it, man. I got him to buy it. He goes, it is my least favorite story to hear. Because it reminds him every time that the choices that he made to have that game have that artistic style, literally have a barrier between everyone that someone has to break down. And that's when the interviewer finally understood, like, holy shit, he's totally right.
Yeah.
And, like, just working at GameStop, you hear that from everyone that walks in off the street that's never played Borderlands.
Yeah.
It's like, well, it's cel-shaded. I don't know if I'm going to like that. It's like, just fucking play it, man. Just play it, bring it back. If you don't like it, I'll give you your money back. And some people would bring it back like, yeah, it was cool, but I just couldn't get over the graphics.
Yeah.
And
I'm like, goodbye forever.
Yeah.
he tells a story about how when the game was in development, the biggest complaint that, because they had someone that they had to report to in 2K, like, this is everything we're doing, we need your approval for literally everything, and they had released a trailer with ultra realistic graphics. They had shown it at, like, the Video Game Awards show, and the development cycle was almost done, and the biggest complaint that everyone in the studio and everyone at 2K had was that there is a disconnect between the content of our game and we don't know why. And someone in his studio came to him and told him, like, I can fix the problem. Like, there's something that's just not working where the game just doesn't feel right. It's like, but you have to give me, like, 2 weeks and you have to trust me. And he told him, okay. And he went and they had a bunch of different pitches for the art style of Borderlands when they first started developing it. And he went back and he took the style that you know Borderlands as today. And he showed him a portion of the game. And he said walking into that meeting, he realized that he had given this guy an okay to give him, like, an idea of what they could do to change something. And walking into that meeting, he knew he had to kill whatever idea it was. It was too late in the development cycle, whatever idea he had come up with, he has to say no. He has to kill it. And he sat down and they presented him Borderlands the way it looked, and he's like, this art style matches the theme of our game. It matches the tone of everything. It matches the writing. This is what we need. Yeah. And he sat there and he realized he could not tell them no. And so what came out of his mouth was, if this was the solution, how are we going to get 2K to approve it this late in the life cycle? So they cut a trailer with the new art style with a song that he personally loved, and he flew out to 2K and he showed it to them, and they said yes. And they changed everything about that game off of a hunch of one of his people that said, like, you have to trust me. And the fact that he has that much trust in his people, and they knew, like, this will make our game make sense. And it's super ultra successful, but, like, I thought it was so funny because I was like, I bet you Charlie was the one that talked to Randy Pitchford and was like,
I did not
oh
say
my
that.
God, like, this one guy came into my store. And I was like, but realistically, I would tell him the same thing. Like, there is that barrier, and I don't think he realized how extensive it was until he got it told to him like a million times at the GameStop conference.
I will just, like, say something that's going to sound like elitist, but I did meet Randy Pitchford at the GameStop conference. And it was one of the best experiences of my life. Aww. I have loved him for so long. I fangirled a little bit. I got a picture with him in, like, this giant claptrap statue. Aww. I don't remember what I said to him, but it was really cool. It was probably
blacked out for a little while.
It was probably like, make love to me, Randy.
Make love to me, Randy.
But yeah, I would not say that. I'd be like, if anyone doesn't like your game, they're fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Because when people say that to me, I'm just like, please quit talking. Like, I just walk away. Like,
it literally is like the
dumb.
game that I remember that introduced me to a first-person shooter that mixes RPG in.
I know.
And it's like, that's kind of what I feel like Destiny is. And whenever I play Destiny, I'm like, I would much rather play fucking Borderlands right now. Because I can go get the weapons that I want to and not have to, like, raid and do all the MMO stuff that I don't like to do.
And the writing is so good. Like,
it
that's
really
what blows
is.
my mind. People play Destiny endlessly, and I'm like, especially Destiny 1, like, the writing sucks.
Yeah.
The storyline is
amazing
awful.
graphics,
so shitty.
garbage
And they put
storyline.
so much into, like, if you look for Easter eggs, there's a Minecraft Easter egg in Borderlands 2. Like, there's so many little references, and they put so much into that story, and people are just like,
What's so annoying for me is when people try and actually validate, like, graphics are what make a game.
No.
And it's like, okay, if that's true, why the fuck isn't EverQuest 2 the game that everyone plays right now? And World of Warcraft took over the world. Because World of Warcraft 2 has straight-up cartoon graphics. It looks like a walking, talking cartoon, and they've just made it look more like a cartoon. They've never tried to make the turn into ultra-realistic graphics. They're like, no, this is our art style, we're going to go with it. And it's like, for someone who plays that exclusively on PC, because you can't play it anywhere else, where if you're playing a PC game, you probably have a rig that can run something like Witcher 3
anything
at 60 frames per second, and then it has a fucking consistent user base at its peak of like 14 million people. Like, that is just another argument. That's another nail in the coffin of the argument that graphics, like high fidelity graphics, are all that matters.
You know, I think there's a little bit of, like, a disconnect, because I think that now that games are so popular, right? Like, gaming consoles are in every household.
Right.
It's like a household tool, whereas before it used to be like gamers played games. Now that everyone kind of dips their toes, that's what I think has changed about the graphics demand. Like, I feel like a lot of those people who are super casual care a lot about graphics, and they think that that's part of their gaming experience. But for people that I think have been around gaming for a really long time and truly play a lot, they aren't necessarily looking for that, and that doesn't make a game for them.
Right.
Like, because most of the gamers that I meet are not, they don't really care that much about it. But the people that are super casual are the ones that have like the coolest TV and then the system that works perfectly with that to.
And it's like the games that have been hitting recently that have been really big successes are indie games that have like a 3 to 5 hour experience, and they don't have amazing graphics. Like something like as far back as Journey on PS3.
Journey is beautifully done.
It's very artistic,
visually stunning, but
people
not
look
like,
at it from that perspective and be like, "It doesn't. What is this? What am I playing? Is this a comic book?"
Yeah.
And then stuff like Gone Home or Oxenfree or any of these like indie games that have done really well in the most recent years, like they're not visually stunning. And I think it's a testament to the fact that actual gamers who will go out and find that product, not the people who walk into a GameStop who will just say like, I play 2 games a year, Madden and Call of Duty, bro. It's like, cool, man. Like, then you're going to want ultra realistic graphics because there's not much substance to either of those games aside from that.
Yeah.
But people who actually give a shit, like, even for people who don't like storyline, they can accept the fact that that is something that's important to them. Like, not having graphics that are amazing doesn't change the experience that you have when you play a game. So,
Well, like Rise Son of Rome, when that came out with Xbox One, the graphics were freaking amazing, but it's like, what, an hour of gameplay or something?
it's a little bit longer, but it's all
Like,
those quick time events.
It's like the same.
It's
It's a bunch
not
of quick
worth
time,
it.
and it's the same like 6 enemies
Yeah,
throughout the
it's
entire
stupid.
game.
Stupid.
I have a couple of questions for you guys.
Oh.
Oh, I
And
like
I brought
Charlie's
some questions.
Don't let me forget to bring up
Girl.
Lenore.
Lenore.
Yes.
Okay.
Why?
Yeah.
Because it's it's about graphics and stuff.
Ah, right.
So, on a scale of 1 to 10, how important to you guys are the graphics of a game?
We'll start with CJ.
I mean, I say 0. Like, I don't. To me, it comes down to like what type of gamer you are. Like, if you're I don't want to say true gamer or like old gamer, but if you're someone who's been playing for a long time, you didn't have all the graphics that there were now. There was no 1080p, there was no 4K. Like Final Fantasy to me, like Final Fantasy 7, just 8-bit and super easy to play. That not a lot of like crazy moments where you like cutscenes and stuff like that. I guess what I'm trying to say. That to me is what gaming is. It's about story and stuff being compelling, and not about how it looks. Like, it can look like crap and still have a great story and a great moments behind it. So I don't think. Whereas like now, the new generation of gamers, like, it has to, like, the explosions have to look super real and the sound has to be perfect and everything has to be like 4K. Like, the big thing with Madden this year, besides the fact that they changed a bunch, like they almost redid the whole game, was Madden was purely selling it off of, it's now on the Unreal Engine, it looks so much better. Like, they were just trying to push the game, the fact that it was better. I didn't hear anything that they revamped how defense works. They revamped how the defensive line works. Like, I just had to go in and experience that because all they shoved down people's throats was, it's running on the Unreal Engine.
I feel like at this point, anything that's like, we're on Unreal Engine, it's like, yeah, everything should be
Everything
on
is.
Unreal Engine now.
It's
So
like Friday the 13th on Unreal Engine,
Yeah.
bro. That doesn't look
Come
graphically
on.
amazing, but I've had way more fucking fun with that than with Madden. Which, by the way,
Yeah.
they try to put a story into, and maybe if they would have put more time into fucking putting a storyline into that goddamn game, they wouldn't have fallen flat on their face instead of just being like, yeah, look at the graphics, bro, look at the pretty things.
You know what's funny though? We had there was a video I saw where the creators of the Madden storyline, sorry, just side tangent, they talked about all the games that they think about when they were that they thought about when they were creating the storyline for Madden, and they referenced games like Last of Us, and like then you look at what they created, and I'm just like, geez,
What the
like
fuck?
what happened?
What?
How
Yeah.
did this translate? Like
Yeah.
you were like, how can we make a thing like Last
Maybe
of
it's
Us?
because a bunch of people died.
but,
I would
like,
guess it's because what they tried to make, EA was like, no.
insanely linear and about 30 minutes long.
Right.
They're like, can you cut it down to 30 minutes?
Can you cut this to 30 minutes, please?
Adam, scale of 1 to 10.
I would honestly put it at around 5, just because I don't look at it from the perspective of if a game doesn't have good graphics, I want to enjoy it. But I feel like if the art style calls for that, then that's what I want to see. Like a good example of that is like when I play Witcher, like that game is so like gritty and like dirty that's the art style I expect from it, and you get that with the way it's made. There might be another art style out there that could have applied to Witcher, but I don't think so. So it was really important to me, like, that I played it on my Xbox and not my PC since it's 6 years old, because I would have had to take down the resolution, and I wouldn't have been able to play it like I wanted it to. But when I play something else, like, I just had an example in my head for, like, a not great graphic game that just floated away. It's gone now. So Robin, go ahead. Yeah.
I'm gonna say a 6 because as someone who's into JRPGs and stuff like that, sometimes some of those games storylines suck dick. And it's just like that's all they rely on is the graphics at that point. And I don't care about like the hyper realistic graphics or anything like that, because my games, I just want them to look like cute, pretty anime games, you know? Like like the Hatsune Miku games, the graphics aren't amazing or anything, but they're super cute. And
I will say too, in RPGs, like, I don't mind what the style is for the game, but when I see the spells, I want the spells to look amazing. Like, I want to see, like, everything I cast look just fucking incredible. And if they look lame, then I'm like, this is bullshit.
Yeah.
Or when I equip a new weapon or equip a new armor, I want my person to, like, it looks like I have something different on.
Yeah, that makes sense. You're not just, don't want to look at the generic body.
And it just keeps changing.
Or, like, just the color changes.
If the gameplay is okay, I want to at least have super awesome. I want to at least have super awesome cutscenes, like in Final Fantasy, where they have like regular gameplay, but the cutscenes are like ridiculously awesome CGI. Like,
I think that might be a little misleading though. Like, I love when StarCraft comes out, StarCraft 2, for example, the cutscenes looked great. People would come in all the time like, what is that? And I'm like, oh man, let's see what it really looks like.
Right, this looks nothing like the actual game.
It does not look like this. And that was just hilarious because they had like really cool cutscenes and like really nice graphics, and then you'd get to the game and you're just like, what am I even doing?
StarCraft has really good graphics though.
It does.
But like, if you have it on Ultra. Like, you have to have a PC that can run it on Ultra. Otherwise, you're going to have
hold your pinky up when you say that.
Oh, sorry.
That's the thing, too.
Ultra.
I think with that game, though, like, you have to have... That's what it comes down to for me when it comes to graphics, is it has to run nicely, too.
Yeah.
Because I could put my fucking computer on Ultra graphics for StarCraft 2 and dip my frame rates like 10 frames per second, and I'll be like, this looks amazing. It's a slideshow of me playing a video game. But it's like, I understand, like, wanting to have that graphic fidelity for a game like StarCraft and 60 frames per second, which is where it gets kind of important, like having a PS4 Pro or having an Xbox One X Scorpio Super Ultra Edition, because like they have things they do want to do. Like in Witcher, if you played it on PC and you had that gaming rig, your view distance for these amazing giant landscapes is so much further.
Well, like, it's hard though when you're comparing consoles to PC, because with PC you can add all these mods in. These, like, my friend Robin was telling me that he played Elder Scrolls. Oh, was it Elder Scrolls? Skyrim. It was Skyrim. And there were a million graphics mods just to make the sky look prettier or the water clearer or whatever.
The head's bigger.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like, you can't compare the two because Xbox, you can't just add mods like that. Or
you can actually.
How?
Yeah, Xbox.
You can now.
You can add mods. You can add mods into the remastered Skyrim, and you could do it in Fallout 4.
It's very different because it's pretty monitored. I will say.
Yeah, Charlie, 1 to 10, how important is it to you?
Honestly, I'd say probably a 5. Like, I'm not gonna lie and say that there's no role. For example, just looking at Injustice, the new Injustice 2 is really pretty. It's a very good-looking game, and then I tried to go back to 1, and I was like, what is this garbage? Like, my eyes don't want to look at this. Same thing with Twilight Princess. Like, I was with somebody who wanted to play Twilight Princess again on the Wii. Granted, we had an HD television, so those things don't go together well. But I was just like, I can't look at it. Like, it hurts. It's, like, hard to focus, and it just looks strange.
It's funny, because that was my example that I forgot, is, like, a game that doesn't have... It wasn't Twilight Princess, but a game that doesn't have amazing Witcher-like graphics that I had a better experience with is Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
And it's because Breath of the Wild picked the art style they wanted to, and they made the world look beautiful in that art style. and it chugs a little bit if you're on your handheld mode. That's mainly because it's on the Switch, which got rushed out
Right.
to save Nintendo, basically. But I never noticed it.
Aw, poor
And
Nintendo.
like every bit of, I spent 110 goddamn hours in that game, and every moment, every time I looked around, I'm like, this looks fucking incredible. And
Yeah.
realistically, beauty's in the eye of the beholder, and that's because of the way the game presented itself. I got to have that experience because I could look at it and be like, this doesn't look anything like Witcher. This looks like
It
shit.
doesn't look realistic at all.
Yeah, but it looks well in the style it's in.
Yeah. On the other end of that, though, I don't know. I think it's healthy to be somewhere in the middle. Like, for example, the new Kojima project. I can't remember the name of it
Death
right
Stranding.
now. Death Stranding.
Death Stranding.
I look at that shit and I'm like, what are we even doing here? I get that it looks, and everyone will tell you, like, it looks amazing. But I'm like,
What is it?
what is the content here?
Yeah.
It's a very, very odd trailer, and the stuff that they released for it, you're like, what is even going on? Do I even want to know what's going on? Why is the dude from Walking Dead naked?
Oh my god, he looks so naked. It looks so real.
Yeah, and everyone just talked about like how amazing it looked graphically, and that just blows my mind. I'm like, what is this game fucking about? Like, I was at E3 and the PlayStation booth had a Death Stranding t-shirt and it sold out like within an hour of when that booth
It's not
opened.
even out or
Yeah, I'm
anything.
like, what is the game?
I
if you
feel
can
like
tell
that's
me
just
what it is.
that's fanboy stuff. It's like they love Kojima,
And that I
they,
get.
They don't like how he got treated from Konami,
Right.
And they're like, we're gonna
He's
love
the
anything
hero.
you do, and like because you don't know anything about the fucking game, they're like, graphically, it's like amazing.
Yeah, I was just like blown away that they can release these short bursts of whatever the fuck you want to call it. I guess you could say gameplay. It's definitely not, doesn't make
It's
any
not
sense to
gameplay,
me.
though, right?
And then there are games that are visually stunning, like what's the word? Last Guardian. Very interesting art style, not realistic at all, but like visually beautiful. And people are like, what the heck is that?
Right.
Like, what's even? It doesn't even look like a person.
And the criticisms that I've heard for Last Guardian is that it just doesn't handle well. Like trying to play the dog bird, like he has to be standing in like specific spots to perform the actions that you need him to. It's not like, this game just looks terrible. It's like it should be about the function of the game, and the graphics should just be a bonus.
I can appreciate when people like when they upgrade or remake games though. Like, were we all together when they were showing the new Shadow of Colossus?
No,
Oh no. I was at a conference. So
I was in a more exclusive place with more better people.
so they showed
Pinky up.
I'll look. Yeah, right, this is my elitism. They showed the graphic difference between the original, the remake on the PS3, and the remake on the PS4, and it does look amazing. Like, it looks beautiful,
Wow.
and if you love that game, you're gonna want to play it just to see it transform. Like, it's a totally different experience. And like with Skyrim Remastered, the textures are totally different. It's more PC style, where they had so many things on the screen that they couldn't even show you before. So I think that that's really interesting and that's cool. And like Dead Rising, when that first came out, Dead Rising 3 on Xbox One, they really showed like that they could put thousands of zombies on the screen at once.
yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
I liked Final Fantasy 10 too. That remake,
The remake, remaster.
Yeah.
So there's something to be said too. I don't know how many other questions you have for us, but about like the evolution of a game, though.
I have two other questions.
So just the point I'll make really fast then is that someone like Telltale, they change the license and they change the story, and I love the story, but that game engine has performed and looked the exact same way since
In
Walking
everything.
Dead.
Yeah.
And when I tried to play Batman, I was finally like, you know what? Fuck this. I didn't go past episode 2 because there were breaks in the sound.
Yeah, it's
The
like
game
never
was
worked
super
great.
choppy. And it's like, if you can't fix your goddamn engine, if you can't evolve, because I gave them a certain liberty when I played Walking Dead the first season, where I had to turn my brightness all the fucking way up in certain areas, because I'm like, I literally can't see a goddamn thing. And it's because like the game just sort of randomly breaks. And it's like, the graphics don't look great, and I'm not saying like, hey, I need a hyper realistic version. Like, no, I need the art style you're presenting me to actually function properly.
Yeah.
And I literally have just told myself, like, I'm not buying another goddamn Telltale game until they fix their engine.
Except Wolf Among Us 2, because that game's going to be fire.
I'm not getting it. I will watch you play it, though.
Game is
I will watch you play it, and every
Whatever.
time the graphics break, I'll be like, psh, bullshit, you paid $5 for this? Ask
only
for your money back.
$5.
Oh, well, it's
Each
like an
episode
episode.
is, yeah.
I'll buy the whole disc.
Yeah.
Moving on with the questions.
So my second question, we'll start with CJ again. Do you decide what system to play a game on based on graphics? Because I have that question posed to me a lot at work. A lot of people ask me, what does it look better on? I'm like,
They look exactly the same, man.
no, they do graphic comparisons. Like IGN will post
I literally can never tell the
I
difference.
can't tell the difference.
Really?
I'm like,
Yeah.
no,
I
no.
can never tell the difference.
I can kind of tell the difference
They
between
post
PS4 and PS4 Pro.
Yeah.
Because I can see that, but between PS4 and PC and Xbox, I'm like,
PC's always master race.
one
though.
looks brighter. Like, that's what it all comes down to for me. But
CJ.
yes, CJ.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, we just got scolded by the teacher.
That was intense.
5 points from
Not
Gryffindor.
not necessarily. Like, I guess I'm kind of doing. You're posing that question at a good time because I'm kind of doing that with Destiny. But my reason behind doing it with Destiny was I didn't think I would have anybody to play with. So I was like, I'll just play it where it's going to run at 60 frames per second because it is. When I go do the Crucible and playing multiplayer, it'll be nice to have it at 60 frames compared to 30. It's just going to be a lot cleaner. But if I'm picking something over who I'm going to be playing with versus how it's going to look, I'm always going to pick whenever I'm going to be actually having more fun, which would be playing with people or playing on a console that I know is going to run better. Like sometimes there's games that just don't adapt well to the PC. Like some games just aren't meant for a mouse and keyboard. So that's what I put my consideration into.
Adam.
Honestly, no. I never pick which system I'm going to play it on based off of graphics unless it's console versus PC. And I haven't had a PC that could run something better than my Xbox in a long time. So I haven't had to make that choice.
You're not going to have it now with all those teraflops.
I know. I'm never going to have to worry about it again.
That sounds like a word from Rick and Morty.
Teraflops. It does.
I love all the videos for it that I've seen. They're like, what's a teraflop? Don't worry about it. Like they're accepting
know
that no
there's
one
lots.
knows what that is. And
Yeah.
there's like, but it's cool. And trust us, it looks great.
How many are there on them? 6?
6.
What it comes down to for me when it comes to the console comparison, because I have both, is where are my friends playing if it's multiplayer, and if it's a single player, I'm like, I want my gamer score. Like me and Robin constantly talk shit to each other about who has a higher gamer score, and now that we have house guests, if our shifts are off and someone wants to play on my Xbox, they're playing all the games that I haven't gotten to yet, and guess what? My gamer score is getting really fucking high again. So it's been pretty nice. But no, there's not enough difference for me to alter where I'm going to play a game. Not yet, at least.
Robin.
I am the exact same way. Like, I want to get that gamer score, but if
Gotta get that.
I gotta get that, and like, if you look at my Steam account, I have like 2 games on my Steam.
And you have the most baller fucking PC.
I know. I have
You
all
play
the
Fallout Shelter.
I have all the Battle.net games, like all the Blizzard games, and that's about it. That, and I have a bunch of stuff that you can play on your Xbox and your PC.
Play
like
Anywhere.
those Play Anywhere games. I freaking love those. So I don't know. Maybe it's just me being like Xbox fangirl type person, but like
I don't think so, because you'll play.
I play
games
on
on
my
the PlayStation
PlayStation. Like
4.
I got like World of Final Fantasy and
Crash Bandicoot.
Crash Bandicoot, stuff that are like
Exclusive.
exclusives on PlayStation. I'll get them, but it's like if
'Cause
I
you
have
no choice.
you're right, I have no choice. If I have a choice, I'm gonna go with Xbox because
Yeah.
I'd love to get the gamer score for it, like Final Fantasy 15. I got it on my
Like
Xbox.
Kingdom Hearts 3 when that drops.
Oh, it better be on Xbox.
Woo.
That'd be so nice.
And what
It's on
scale
Xbox.
band drops?
It will be on Xbox.
Yeah, I don't know. I just, it's easier to play with my friends on Xbox than it is on PlayStation.
Oh, I will agree with that tenfold.
Yeah, so it's just, I don't know. Everything is easier for me choosing Xbox. I don't know what is a difference. I don't choose for graphics. I just don't.
Right on.
I don't know.
I don't either. I mean, I'm sure there is some
Charlie's
clipping
like,
that I'm
"You
like
bitches."
missing.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Next question.
No.
What
I
else
want to
you
know
got?
Charlie's answer.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Charlie. Does it make a difference to you?
Well, I've never had a fancy PC, so I've never had that option. I think that in the past, before Xbox One and PS4 were around, I've seen graphic comparisons on Ultra in PC, where like literally there are things on the screen I've never seen before. It's like you like opened your third eye, like you can see things that were literally not there in the
I am the
console.
three-eyed
version
raven
of-
now.
Right. So I think that was really crazy to me, and that kind of made me want to get a PC. But at this point in the game, with consoles being as powerful as they are, I don't care about graphics unless it's functioning poorly. Like when Skyrim came out, it functioned poorly, notoriously poorly on the PS3.
That wasn't even a graphics thing. That was just an asset thing where whenever you like fast traveled anywhere, and the more there was that you had dropped in the world, it rendered everything everywhere. And on PlayStation, it would try and do it like halfway across the world. It was rendering a sword that you dropped and you didn't even know about it, and it would just fucking chug the game until the point where it was unplayable.
Yeah, so I mean, those kind of things that might affect the way a game looks, I would be interested in comparing. But it's just odd to me when I meet people who they'll ask like which is it better for, and then you don't have an answer, or I'll say like, where are your friends? If you're not going to play multiplayer, then it doesn't matter. And then they'll ask like, what does it look better on? I'm like,
PC.
Who the hell cares?
Right.
Like, I have not checked. There's a comparison video online. Good luck distinguishing all of them.
I seriously, I
they
always
look different, but I think, like, it's a personal preference as to what looks best.
Yeah, I just sit and stare, and I'm like,
I
wish someone would point, like, have arrows or circles, so I'd be like, oh, yeah, I see it now.
This is the best.
It's like a magic eye.
I've
never gotten it to work.
So for my third question, what's the last game you liked primarily because of the graphics, if there was one? I mean, you talked about Breath of the Wild, which I wouldn't say you liked primarily because of the graphics, but you liked or the last game you really liked the graphics of.
Okay. CJ, you first.
Fuck.
Took me 10 years to ask that question, and you didn't think of an answer.
Right.
No, because that's a rough one. I can't think of anything that I like played because of the graphics. Yeah, I'll pass for now. Come back to me.
Pass.
Oh, fuck you. I'm going to choose Worlds of Final Fantasy.
Because of the chibi art
Because,
style.
because the art style was cute.
But
the
can't you
graphics
transform
were
from
cute.
chibi to...
Yeah, you can go from chibi to regular
The regular
size.
is still cute, though.
Yeah, it's like, it's that Final Fantasy, Kingdom Hearts graphics type looking stuff. I just love it. It's so cute. All the monsters are cute, and I don't know. Like, graphically, it's, like, amazing.
I will go now, and I will steal Charlie's eventual answer. Because the game that I want to play consistently, I mean, I don't, but I want to play consistently, and it's mainly because of the graphics, is Horizon Zero Dawn. I think it looks fucking amazing. It's the reason
Apparently
I want
it's really not winning you over, though.
It's trying. It's, like, pulling me, but I just, like, I'm committed to trying to finish a game. I never should have started Shadow of Mordor. But realistically, I think it looks amazing, and it's, like, one of the main reasons why I would consider getting a PS4, and the fact that I have a 4K TV, which isn't something I like plan to get, but because I have it and it's an avenue, it's like I might want to get a PS4 Pro because this game looks incredibly fun, and the art style of it, which is like super technologically advanced enemies that just look incredible, like would look even better if I had a PS4 Pro. But it's one of those things where no one sat me down and showed me like, here's the difference. It's not DVD to Blu-ray, where I watched Dark Knight on DVD, then I watched it again on Blu-ray, and I could read the fucking name tag for a police officer in the parade on TV. I was like, what the fuck? This is incredible. It's not that big of a leap, but I think that's the one game that's impressed me, and it's funny because I haven't even played it yet. So,
I will say that when I first played Horizon Zero Dawn, like, it was like that meme where you're a skeleton and your face just melts. Like, that's how I felt. It's such a beautiful game. It's not realistic looking per se, but it's a very, very pretty game. But going back a little bit, I think probably the last time I was like shocked and impressed, shook by a game's graphics, honestly, was when I played Assassin's Creed Black Flag for PS4. Like, I remember seeing that, and granted, it was one of the first full like AAA titles I played on PS4.
First Assassin's Creed on a
next gen.
Yeah, next gen.
But it looked beautiful. Like, I was blown away by that. I was like,
you weren't blown away by the cannons. Get it? Blown away by cannons.
Anyways, yeah, like, I remember looking up at like the in-game sun and being like, holy shit, like,
wow.
It's like the sun, like the water. I don't know. It was amazing looking.
Forza Horizon guys said for Forza Horizon 3, they went to Australia for like 2 or 3 months, and all they did was film the sky.
Whoa.
Because they wanted their sky to look
boring AF.
Amazing. I know, it does sound boring as fuck, but imagine, like, we're going to send you to the most beautiful parts of Australia so you can get the most sunny days recorded. And, like, they were very proud of that. They wanted their skies to... They wanted people to have that oh shit moment playing their game.
Wow.
So, CJ, what about you? Have you thought of one?
I really don't know. I mean,
Boo.
if I had to pick one, it would be the original Borderlands to me, because I liked playing that game because I was like, I'm just basically playing in a comic book. Like, that's what it looked like to
Oh,
me.
that's cool.
So if I had to pick a game, because I don't care about graphics too much, but if I had to pick one that I wanted to go back and play because I thought, I was just like, I'm living out a comic book. It's a silly reason, I guess, but that's why I liked it so much.
I guess ultimately, like, I think whether you do it intentionally or not, certain games appeal to you just because of how they look. Like, Robin will play almost anything that's chibi or adorable because that's what she's into. And I agree with her.
Like Animal Crossing.
Yeah, and I mean, maybe part of the reason I love Borderlands is because I do love animated things. Like, I love, animated television shows. I don't know, the art of those things appeals to me.
Yeah.
So, I mean, ultimately, I understand how that could sway you, but I would never, I don't know, it just blows my mind, this influx of people that are so obsessed with the 4K.
Yeah, see, I don't
So,
care about that shit.
That said, Lenore.
Lenore.
So the convenience of taking it with you anywhere. Mm-hmm. Okay, before I ask the question, describe what the gameplay of L.A. Noire is to our listeners who have never played it, like myself.
What?
Really? You've never played
Never
L.A.
played
Noire?
L.A. Noire.
I'm pretty sure I have it on 360.
You do. It's still on our shelf.
I don't know if it's backwards compatible, actually.
I don't think it is.
I don't think it is.
I have a 360
I
in the
would have.
bedroom. You can play
I have a PS3, so that's what I have. Anyways, so it is a game that admittedly is a little slow paced. That's why it wasn't as popular as some of those other Rockstar titles. But you investigate a series of crimes in 1950s LA.
Yep.
And when it came out, it was interesting and new graphically because you had to pay attention to the clues of the game. And there are musical cues in the game. You don't know from playing Machine. Robin might be aware. When you are in an area looking for clues, there are musical cues. Like, you'll hear things when you're near a clue or when you're really close to one. When there's
You can hear when you're getting a raging clue.
Oh my
telling
God.
yes. The music in the area ends, and it's very subtle, but you hear it end when you have found all the clues. So there are a lot of little subtleties to it. And then when you're in the investigation portion, the final area, you have to interrogate people and you have to read them. You have to tell based on
Facial expressions, and
how
body
shifting
movements
around, looking around, whether
Yeah.
they're making eye contact, more so than what they're saying, honestly.
Yeah.
You pay attention to their body language and their facial expressions in order to tell whether they're lying or not.
Yeah.
So, in a detective story game where you have to read someone's expressions, this sounds like the game that you would make the argument that 4K graphics would directly affect the gameplay. So it begs the question of what is more important to you when it comes to specifically L.A. Noire, the convenience of playing anywhere, or the graphic fidelity of making the game experience different.
As dumb as it sounds, the biggest thing that's going to change what console I play that on is the price. Principally, I'm upset that they're making me pay $10 more on Switch. I don't care how much the fucking cartridge costs. If they have to douse it in the liquid that my child won't eat it, I don't care about that. It just blows my mind that they're charging me more. Anyways,
Say it's all the same price.
if it's all the same price, I think I would go probably with Switch because I still think it's cool that you can take it anywhere, and the graphics of Switch are still fine.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't think 4K versus Switch graphics. Let's do that actually when it comes out. Robin can buy it on Xbox or PlayStation. I'll buy it on Switch, and we'll compare our
We
success.
could literally play
Side by
it
side.
side by side
Yeah.
out there.
or just see if she can do better in her cases than I can.
So this is where...
Oh shit!
That's funny.
But
I'm gonna lose.
Gauntlet laid down.
I don't know. My
I don't know
ending
how to
for
read
L.A. Noire
people.
was really bad.
I'm like, are you lying to me or are you flirting with me? I can't tell.
They seem
50-50
good
shot of setting a
in
murderer
nature.
free. I like those odds.
But yeah, I mean, and I also don't think the Switch is gonna do worse graphically than 360 or PS3.
Once you put it on the big
it's-
screen, it looks amazing.
The chipset on the Nintendo Switch is more powerful than an Xbox 360 and a PlayStation 3. It's legitimately the most powerful NVIDIA tablet that's ever been made because the chipset inside of it is all the different tablets that NVIDIA was trying to put out to try and make their own little gaming console. Like Nintendo took everything that they could and put it into the most powerful machine they could make without draining your battery constantly.
Yeah.
So it's just so fucking funny to me that people still have this argument that graphics are what matters and what does it look better on. It's like, you know what sold 100 million units? Not Xbox 360, not PlayStation 3, the fucking Wii.
Yeah.
The Wii sold 100 million units, and it's because
looks like garbage.
gameplay fucking matters. And having someone sit next to you and have your crappy little me go up and take bat at a game where you can't even field the fucking ball, that had more people play it than MLB The Show.
Look, man, if I don't have my Wii, how can I play Jerry Rice Dog Football?
I know.
Oh my god!
See, come on.
Only console you can get Jerry Rice Dog Football.
I bought Mario Kart and just so I could play it, and our two house guests, me, Robin, and Robin's sister Liz, who's been on the show before, we have 165 games on the Xbox we could be playing that are all graphically more impressive than Mario
None of them
Kart.
are multiplayer, though.
Yeah, that's a good point. But of all those games, I have quite a few that are multiplayer, and we wound up
we could have
playing.
played Rock Band.
You're like,
We
we
wanna
could play
play Mario
Diablo.
Oh shit!
We wound up playing Mario Kart, and the only other thing I might have wanted to play was Overcooked.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's like
Well,
that's
graphics on Overcooked aren't crazy either.
because it's all about the
It's all about
gameplay
the
and the
gameplay,
experience.
yeah.
Like if you could make a game where it's like Bastard Chef, and you
Did you
look
say Bastard
perfect.
Chef?
It's from Archer when he
Oh.
goes undercover. But it looked perfect, and like the lettuce looks so real. You can hear the crisp chops when you cut through it. Like, would that be a better gameplay
No.
experience than Overcooked? No, and it would be more expensive. So what the fuck is the point of that? Like, if you try and sell Overcooked to someone, they'd be like, "That looks stupid." It's like,
It's not stupid.
just
Fuck
play
you.
it. She got angry at
It's
invisible.
my Borderlands
made up
rant about
person.
every
She got
week.
very upset.
The last thing I want to say that I found interesting, I saw an article just earlier today. It was a Forbes article where the writer of the article, granted, I'm sure it was primarily an opinion piece, he was writing about how he was not going to play Destiny this week because there was a HDR graphics update for Battlefield 1. And that he was so excited to play it and see the new graphics of Battlefield 1 that he was like, move over, Destiny, Battlefield 1.
You're
Is that
And
like
that, like,
an
blew my
enhancement to a
mind.
gameplay he really likes versus like I just want to see better graphics?
It's not like new maps. Like, that would make sense to me. Like,
I'm
oh man,
sorry.
my favorite game, new shit for that. But like, foregoing a brand new
just
game
for graphics, like no,
a brand new
man.
experience.
to see like the same shit you've played look a little
Yeah.
bit better.
I'm sure it's not even that much better. It's like,
HDR, bro.
ugh.
Come on.
Yeah.
HDR. That's what it's all about.
I don't know. That like blew my mind. I was like, geez. And then
Yeah.
of course I told you earlier that I have people asking me like, what's that 4K Destiny look like? I'm like, bro, it's not that
It's
amazing.
like, I don't know. I
And
play in 3.8K. What's
I
that?
actually I go down. What's the lowest HDMI I'll go? I go down to that 740.
480p. Blow your
480p.
goddamn mind.
Looks crisp.
To me, I don't know. It upsets me that someone would buy a game based on that.
It's stupid.
I agree.
Anywho's.
So I think we covered pretty much everything. Does everyone feel good about the topic?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel good about it, and I'd like people to let us know.
That's what I
Yeah, let
really
us know
want
what you
is
think.
anyone who does listen to the episode, like, seriously, tweet at us or Facebook group it or send it to
I
our
think
email.
it's a Facebook page, not a Facebook group.
Whatever, Facebook
Oh,
page. The email is nerdchills@nerdchills.net. Tweet at us at nerd_chills or talk to us on the Facebook page, facebook.com/nerdchillspodcast. Because I really want to know from the other perspective of if you do think graphics matter and you do make your decisions based off of that, why? What are the primary differences? So maybe you can open our eyes and we can start noticing stuff like that. And just give us your opinion. And if you agree with us, then just tell us we're right. And we always love to hear that.
And then end of discussion.
Yeah, and that's
Boom,
it.
close. We'll send you a pin.
And always just let us know who's hotter, Hemsworth or that other
Hiddleston.
cam, Hiddleston, whatever.
And I also want to give a shout out to my friend. I want to give a shout out to my friend Zan Dreiss. He's a Twitch affiliated streamer. Go check him out. He streams fairly often, I'm pretty sure. But
What does he play?
yeah,
What's his game of choice?
I don't even know. He plays on PC. I haven't
League?
looked at League.
I hear PC, I hear PUBG. So
Oh man, probably.
He's
I almost bought it this week. I was
10
debating
million.
between that and Mario
you
Kingdom
don't
Rabbids
want to wait
Super
for
Battle.
it to be on Xbox.
If I decide to buy it, I'd rather play it mouse and keyboard.
Yeah, that's fair.
So that's where most of my decisions come
Especially
from.
where everybody is already playing on mouse and keyboard.
Yeah.
I was kind of surprised. I figured CJ would have more interest in graphics because he's always got that like top level shit.
Right.
It's got those 4K
I
monitors.
mean, I do like if the game allows it, I like to be able to play it what they're trying. Like, I want to be able to see how the producers are wanting to show it to the world. But at the end, I don't think graphics matter. I mean, the reasons why I have high-end monitors is because there's certain like refresh rates and that kind of stuff plays into a lot of the games I play. So that's why I have the high-end monitors, not necessarily for the graphics, but to actually
He also
enhance
has
the
all that extra
gameplay.
money just to shit out.
I totally agree with you, CJ. Like that matters. Like I'd rather have a better monitor than a better video card.
And that makes sense, especially if you're playing
Yep.
competitively.
Yeah, absolutely. So right on. We already said where you can find the show. If you would like to contact me and send me the daily hate mail that I've come to expect from everyone, you can tweet at me at @theadamdiaz or send emails to Maylum, MAYLUM @nerdchills.net. If I stream, you can find me streaming at twitch.tv/Maylum. Charlie, you look like you have a question.
Do people send you hate mail? Do I need to get on that? Should I be sending you hate mail?
It's
I didn't know
just-
that this
it's
was
just
an
my mom.
expectation.
I just send him hate mail. Like, you're such a bitch.
She doesn't
Fuck
send me
you.
hate mail unless hate mail is words coming from your mouth daily. She doesn't. Really
Oh
send
yeah, I
me
mixed
mail.
those two
So
things
you'll just
up.
have to
Sorry.
start every sentence with like, "Here's a piece of hate mail for you."
Right. That said, CJ, where can the fine folks find you?
Per usual.
As per usual.
Twitter, Twitch TV, our Nerd Chills emails, which I guess isn't working currently, but hopefully we'll get it fixed, is all Sacred Infinity. I try to keep it very simple, and I just like that name. So that's where you can find me at, and I hope to be streaming later tonight. It just kind of depends on
We need to do
how stuff
another
works out.
Overwatch stream.
We
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, I agree. Now that we're better at the game.
Come on, Charlie.
I mean, yeah, sure, I agree.
Yay.
we'll carry you.
You're gonna have to. Quite honestly, I'll just be texting the whole time.
Charlie, if the fine folks wanted to find you as per usual, where can they as per usual find you?
Well, as per usual, they can find me right here, or they can go on Twitter at Charlie with an EY_nerdchills. And please don't send me hate mail. Send that
Underscore
to
nerdchills.
Underscore
NC as in nerdchills. Please don't send me hate mail. Send that to Adam.
Yeah, it's all his fault.
What is my fault?
You know, the hate that's gonna happen.
And Robin, if the
World
fine
problems.
folks wanted to find you,
I'm on just about every social media outlet at the Robin Grace.
and your Etsy shop that we always plug, since you are the one who creates all of our
Oh,
fun
It's,
pins and all
I'm-
marketing.
it's Robin's Kwai Corner, all one word.
Cool. Awesome. So I think it's been a pretty good episode 35. And I know Robin has
Is it
just
35
been
or 36?
36. This has been a really good. We did 35 again. This is 35-2. Not really. But I know
Woohoo.
Robin's been chomping at the bit all week to do the sign out. So Robin, go ahead
No,
and
I
sign us
haven't.
out.
Take a chill pill, people. We'll see you next week.
Nailed it.
Bye. Bye.
We all float.
You'll float too.